Hi guys, this is Asan. I'm studying for the bar and I wanted to review some of my notes with you. So today I'm studying professional responsibility and I'll be talking about the bar exams. So yesterday I spent the whole day studying some of the past bar exams on professional responsibility. First of all, I noticed that every other test, like basically every other year, they're testing professional responsibility. So I figured that's one of the most important topics. Why? Because it's very important for a lawyer to know how to handle the client. It's very important for a lawyer to know how to handle the fees, how to interact with opposing party, candor to the court. Like all those little details, I think from my point of view is the most important. So that's why I studied the bar exam deeply and I found out that there's some issues that keep on coming up every year. So these this means that these issues are extremely important, scary important. So I'm going to go over them real quick and I'm going to show you right here. These are the issues I found, and I also found the rules right here and I pulled them out. So my plan is to have everything, every issue, every rule memorized to the best of my ability for the professional responsibility. So you're going to ask yourself right now, that gets straight to the point. What are the main issues that are tested on the bar exam professional responsibility test? So the first one is the lawyer-client relationship, because that's extremely important. First thing that has to happen is that there must be a relationship between a lawyer and a client. So the first thing you do is you define that relationship. The next thing is the duty of competence, the duty of diligence, and also the duty of loyalty. So I'm going to go through that. There are other duties too, but the next thing is duty of confidentiality. But mainly, as you can see, let me show you my notes right here. I don't know how this light is working right now. I feel like it could be better. So let's get it close. So as you can see, the first thing right here is a lawyer-client relationship. And then you go through your duties. And I'm going to read this for you real quick. So, lawyer-client relationship, duty of competence and diligence, duty of confidentiality and disclosure. I'm sorry, I think this light is just not doing it. So let me turn it off and go over it for you again because... Okay, yeah, that's much better. Like, I was trying to put the light so that you can see the notes very well, but I feel like that was causing a shadow, and now you can actually see my notes very well. So these are all the issues that keep on popping on the past bar exams, and these are all the rules, and, maybe you can even take a picture of this for yourself and look it up. So, first thing is the lawyer-client relationship, then duty of competence, diligence, then duty of confidentiality. Remember, put another head note for the disclosures, and then also the exceptions such as consent or also averting physical harm. So you want to go through the exceptions also, and there's another one here, serious harm using services. So just go back and review your exceptions. This isn't complete because I have more notes over here that connects to this, so I'm just going through this real quick, but also just remember these are the main issues. Then it is duty of communication, fee splitting among lawyers, contingency fees, referral fees, fees generally. So as you can see, I keep on mentioning fees. So I think that fees is definitely going to be on the bar exam. How could it not? That's like the first step to handling a matter between a lawyer and a client. So fees, okay? And then the next thing, there's a duty of fairness. I've seen that a lot. So I've even written it twice because I've seen it on a past bar exam. So there has to be that duty of fairness. Then usually every now and then you find out that the lawyer did not advertise property. So you want to look at those advertising issues, solicitation issues, meeting with an unrepresented person. You want to know your rules on that. Again, duty of fairness, I've written this twice, that's how important it is. And improperly influencing a witness, perjury, and corporations as clients. So that's a whole thing. When you sit on the bar exam, first thing you want to do is you want to circle your parties. For example, the fact pattern might say Pete, blah, 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 X corporation, blah, blah, blah. So the first thing you do on the bar exam, you circle and you want to know who your parties are. You want to keep track of them. You want to have them memorized, because this way you can type faster on the top of your head. You can relate. You can think faster. So that's the first thing you do, is you circle the name. Once you do that, who is your client? Is it a corporation or is it an individual? So I've seen corporations on clients. Usually it's a crossover with business association. You also see a professional responsibility crossover with evidence exam. So that's why these are very important. Or a professional responsibility crossover with contracts. So you want to look at corporation as a client. That's where you'll get a crossover with business associations. And then next thing, as I said before, back to the duties. These should go together: duty of loyalty, duty of competence, duty of diligence, duty of confidentiality. That's how you can memorize it and have it all like in a part of your brain. You know, you want to compartmentalize. That's such a hard word for me to say. So you want to put your information in different parts. So you want to say, here are all the duties, fees, you know, and also when there's a conflict of interest between a lawyer and a client, duty of candor to the court, duty to avoid a frivolous lawsuit, duty to protect interest of a corporate client or just basically of a client in general, safeguarding a client's property. This is extremely important. So I've seen exam questions on the multiple choice question where it says, here's the money, and then this is the only place you're going to get the math. You know, you might actually have to sit back for a second, do a little bit of a math in your head, because what happens, the fact pattern will say something like, the client will come to you, there's this much money he gives you, or, you know, he gives you his property, where do you put it? Do you put it in your personal account? Do you put it in that trust account? So like, this is actually very important. It comes up in the multiple choice question, and I've also seen it come up in the essay portion, because this is the portion where, you know, you write about where you keep the money, also the fees. Sometimes, you know, it gets mixed up on what are the fees or what is something that the lawyer can keep. Sometimes there's a dispute over that, so you want to pay attention to all of that. The next thing you want to look at is duty to protect, yeah, I just said that, interest of a corporate client, safeguarding client's property, duty to supervise staff. So usually on the bar exam, you'll see like a fact pattern, or even in a multiple choice question where, you know, the staff is not doing its job properly. So the lawyer has a duty to supervise the staff, or every now and then there's someone who's been disbarred and then the lawyer ends up hiring that person. So how does that apply? And then the next thing is duty to the opposing party. So this is also on the fairness section, which I said earlier. So it's very important that, you know, you want to act classy. You don't want to bother other people. Other people, they've got families. They're just trying to do their jobs. Just when you're playing the game, play fair, okay? Either don't get in the game, or if you're going to get in the game, play fair. Don't be causing hatred and anxiety and problems in the world. Just be fair to the opposing party. That's very important. Next thing, duty to report violations of other lawyers. So every now and then we get this lawyer who's really doing wrong. Is there a duty to report that lawyer? Next thing I just mentioned before also, but I've seen this on the bar again, employing a disbarred attorney, okay? That's also duty to supervise staff. Is kind of similar. You want to supervise the staff. That might be some sort of a legal intern or a paralegal, someone who is filing a complaint and they just did it and they didn't do it right, okay? Or there might be employing a disbarred attorney. That happens. And then loans to clients, withdrawal, duty to report, and then also public statements, because every now and then something happens, like a big O.J. Simpson case where we have a Robert Shapiro type of character who's giving statements, and you know, what kind of public statements can you give and where have you crossed the line. And also you have a duty to the former clients, because once they're your client, you have a duty to keep their information private forever. You know, like, you have a duty of loyalty. You got to keep your client safe. You got to protect your client. You got to stand up for your client. You know, once they're your client and the matter is done, you can't just simply stab them in the back once you're done. So, you know, if you're going to be a lawyer, you're there to help people and you're there to be a good person. So all I'm saying is, don't be an asshole. That's it. If you get a problem with the client, or you just still have a duty to them, okay? Sorry for my language. And then next thing, as I said, failure to disclose the evidence. And I haven't seen this tested much, but I wrote it anyway. The ex parte contact with the judge. So just remember that. And also the false statements with the court. All that falls under the candor. So that's why I'm not going too much into it. So that's pretty much everything I have. These are the main issues that I've seen being tested on the past professional responsibility bar exams. So I really hope this helps. And here are some of the other rules. It's right here. If you want, I can go through that for you too real quick. Let me do that. So there is rule 1.1 competence, 1.2 scope of representation, 1.3 diligence, 1.4 communications, 1.5 fees, 1.6 confidential information, 1.7 conflict of interest, 1.8 business relations, 1.9 duty to former clients. So these rules that I'm mentioning, these are the main rules. You know, I really put the time in studying these. 1.10 imputation of conflict of interest, because it's imputed, you want to look at that. 1.13 organization as client. 1.14 clients diminished capacity. 1.15 safeguarding the property. 1.16 dealing with declining terminating representation. 1.18 duty to prospective clients. 3.3, that's where you find your candor towards the tribunal rules. 3.4, that's where you find the fairness to the opposing party. 3.5, that's where you get your impartiality. 4.2, you get the communications with person represented by counsel. And also 4.3, dealing with unrepresented person. 4.4, rights of the third party. There's just a few more I'm going to talk about. 5.3 is a non-lawyer assistant responsibility. 7.1 is the communication on lawyer services. And finally 7.2 are the specific rules. And don't forget the distinctions with the California distinctions, because I've seen on the bar they have the distinctions, so that's very important. And also the last rules, which are like least important, I think. 8.4, 3.7, actually this one is important because it's the waiver. 3.8, the media. And also client's identity is not always confidential. That part you want to remember. And finally 1.4, duty to tell the truth in negotiations. So these are the main rules that I remember, and these are the main issues that I'd really want to study deeply. So this is the first page. I have all my rules down on a whole other page over there, but I really wanted to share this with you, and I really hope this helps. Good luck studying.